Welcome back, guys, to a very special episode here on the hillside. It's been a minute, but we are back. It is past the New Year's. It is time to start getting ready for spring. And what does that mean here at the hillside? That means, of course, seeds. Now, I've done many seed reviews in the past, but none quite like this. Now, for Christmas, I received a medieval food forest collection. Now, I've opened this box already and kind of got a peek at what was inside, so I have a little idea of what to, talk about. Now, while I'm going to talk about every seed that's in here individually, I eventually will make videos on each, maybe not all, but most of these seeds, as a single episode. So I'm just going to kind of breeze through it. Well, I'll show my concerns or maybe some compliments along the way of some of these. But, nevertheless, let's go ahead and get started. This one here is called Alexander's. Now, this is a very interesting plant with a very unique historical, connotation, etc., with growing and how it came to be and how it became part of culture in the Europe and England area as well. This is going to be my first individual episode. The history of Alexander's is quite, we'll say, intertwined. Next up, we have medlar. Now, I have watched some videos on this. This is a old school type fruit. You can't eat them raw. You basically have to blet them, which is essentially let them almost rot down and then kind of go through a miniature fermentation process. And it grows on a tree. It's similar to apples, I guess. It's in that same family. I could be wrong, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, medlar, that is a tree. Definitely going to try to grow that. And while I have you here, check this out. See the back of every one of these envelopes? Little seed cult. That's their little logo right there. Little individual stickers on each individual package here. And shameless plug here, not sponsored in any way whatsoever. I have ordered from this company many times, flowers, herbs, things throughout the years. They're fantastic. Check them out on eBay. That's where I found them at. Seed cult, definitely worth checking out if you're interested in growing some rare, unusual, just different, other than mainstream type plants. Now we have the quince. Now this one is where I start getting a little bit of question. All right, now it goes into the medieval food forest collection. Now, define medieval. Is it plants that have only grown since, that were only popular, I guess, in gardens during medieval times? Or are they plants that have grown in medieval times that we still use today? There's a lot of intertwining. So if you're trying to build a garden that would say, hey, in this year, in this area, I'm planting a garden to resemble a Roman garden or an ancient Greek garden. When you say medieval, it was medieval over the entire world. Okay, it's the same year everywhere, right? So is this a medieval European garden, Middle Eastern garden, Northern European garden? That's where some of these plants and these seeds kind of throw me off, because some of these, like the quince, I believe is native to more of southwestern Asia, into the Georgia, the Caucasus, places like this, Iran even. So if you're trying to grow an ancient medieval garden of England, you may or may not have had these. I'm not sure if they're not native to that area. Could they have grown there? Possibly. Do they grow there now? Yes. But did they before? I don't know. A very interesting, concoction of seeds here, which brings me to sea kale. Now this, I've tried to grow once before, horribly failed because I didn't know what I was doing. This will be a special episode all on its own of just germinating the seed, as it does take some special preparation before you germinate it. But this is native to the coast of Ireland, Scandinavia, Europe, northern parts of Europe, I'm trying to say, and I think it even grows in the northern Mediterranean, in North Africa. I'm not entirely sure. I need to verify that again. But this, medieval seeds, if you're trying to grow a medieval England garden, like you're thinking of, comes authors like Shakespeare or Chaucer or something like that. You're like, oh, I'm going to grow a garden that could have been in the Canterbury Tales or something, right? Sea kale might have been a better choice than some of these other ones. Medlars, of course, they were grown, I believe, in England at the time. But, you know, if you want to grow a German, a French, an Eastern European, you know, how specific do you want to be? Or is it just the fact that these seeds were grown a long time ago, that they may have come out of fashion, and then you're kind of, you know, trying to revive a plant that was, you know, lost to time, something like that, right? That's what I like to think of. I like to grow plants that this was popular 1,000 years ago or 500 years ago, and it was used by the Romans, and there are stories about it, and etc. And you're just going to say, hey, I'm growing a part of history. Maybe I'm not going to use it in cooking every day, or I'm not going to make it a part of my staple, you know, food dish. But to say I grew it, you know, it's just something like that. It's like a living historical tribute to history. That's what I think about these kind of seeds. So if you put it in that connotation, you're just bringing, you know, making history come to life, and you know a little backstory on it. That's what I think makes it exciting. And again, if there's a certain seed in this group that you think is really, really interesting, let me know in the comments down below. We'll talk about making a specific episode just for that one individual seed. And if you've grown these in the past, you have some experience growing them, also drop some comments down below, share the knowledge. Let us all learn from each other. So next we have French corn salad, also known as mâche or mâche. This you can buy in the store right now at your big box store. It's also called, I think I said corn salad. Okay, this could it have been grown 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago? Most likely. Is it the most exciting thing? No. Have you ever grown it before? I have. It's delicious. Little white flowers on it, also edible. It self-seeds in the right climate. So mâche, grow it. Nothing too special about that. Again, you can go to Lowe's or some of these places in the springtime and buy, you know, a fresh pack of mâche or corn salad, would mostly likely be called, and grow it. So yeah, that's one of the least, you know, elaborate or spectacular type things I would, you know, here we go. These two, moving on, enough said. Next we have black salsify and just salsify. Now these are edible roots, okay? And the difference in the two, let me explain this to you. Okay, so regular salsify, this is where it's throwing me off, and maybe it's a turn on for you, not for me. Roots have a mild oyster-like flavor. So no, I'll grow it for science. I don't like oysters. I've tried. I'm sure you're gonna comment down below how delicious oysters are. Sorry, you had to enjoy that. But these have a nutty taste, which is a similar to asparagus or an artichoke heart. Big fan of both of those. So the black salsify, which again, let me get into the connotation later on, a separate episode of these two. There are some controversies about whether or not these are even related. Okay, it's just a name, and they may not be actually related like botanically. They're just in name, black and standard salsify, not quite the same when it really, you know, peel back the layers, so to speak. So that will be a separate episode all on its own. Check back for that. And if you're interested in seed history or plants or things like that, you need to subscribe, because this year it's all about the seeds, guys. This channel, I've done so many things over the years with plants, house plants, cacti, all these things, which I will continue to do. But there are some big seed projects going on this year. There's going to be a lot of, as you can see, random things I'm growing that you just kind of get bored growing the same stuff all the time. You can grow 1,000 tomatoes, peppers, philodendrons, cacti, aloe, whatever. But you know, how many times have you grown good King Henry? Now, I first heard about this a very long time ago when I first started watching YouTube to an excellent gardening channel. It is called 1 Yard Revolution. He stopped making videos a long time ago. I believe his name was Patrick. When I first started watching YouTube stuff, getting into it, and he just was all about good King Henry, a self-sowing annual. It'll you know, it's a nice healthy green. He was all about it. That's where I first heard about it. I never tried to grow it, and when I found out it was in this package, it's pretty excited. So yeah, I'm really excited to kind of take that full circle, and I'm going to grow it now. Yeah, so wherever you're at, one yard revolution, which he got the name from One Straw Revolution, the quote, famous book by Masanobu Fukuoka, I believe, where it talked about organic gardening, farming principles, things like that. I digress. Welsh onions or bunching onions. You've seen them, you've grown them. These, I believe, are a perennial type onion that will multiply. And funny thing about these Welsh onions, you might think Welsh, like Great Britain, Ireland, medieval times. These are Japanese, okay? These are actually Japanese onions. And the Welsh is a mistranslation of whatever the word is that means foreign onions. So Welsh onion, typically, you might associate it incorrectly with Welsh, the Welsh people, Wales. It means foreign onion. Those are Japanese bunching onions. Nevertheless, still good. Medieval, I don't know. We'll find out. Now this, you've seen it in your garden. You've seen this as a weed on the road. At least where I live, it grows everywhere, okay? This, they're calling it fat hen, which is one of the names of lamb's quarters. Yes, the Chenopodium variety that is distantly related to spinach that I am actually allergic to. Very allergic to lamb's quarters, so this grows wild everywhere. I'm not going to try to grow the seeds for it because, well, I don't really need to. It already grows wild where I'm at. I'm not going to eat it. I'm allergic to it. So that one goes over there. But you never know. I'll do some history on it. We'll talk about the history of that seed going forward. This, again, is just the introduction to the Medieval Seeds catalog series of plant seed videos for this winter to keep us all kind of entertained and looking forward to spring. Next, lovage. I have seen these seeds grow for sale at your big box store since I was a kid. I've tried to grow them a couple times. Complete fail because these are actually a very cool season thing. You plant them as it says here on the instructions, which I'm going to stop you here. All of these seeds have detailed instructions which are fantastic. They tell you really how to grow all these. A lot of these need cold stratification, which is going to help, with the germination and everything. But I don't have it with me. Inside of this package, they actually had a handwritten note that give you a link to the website for growing instructions of each and every seed. So if you do buy this product, again, I bought this on Etsy. The seed, fantastic instructions. Okay, great company. They really go out of their way to make sure you're going to be successful. So definitely, that's good for them. But lovage, this is a celery-like plant. Okay, they sell the seeds in your big box stores. Has it been grown for a very, very long time? Absolutely. Should you add it to your medieval food forest? Yeah, why not? And last but not least, I actually grow this out here. You can't see it. It's outside. It's cold. It's like 21 degrees and snowing outside. So it's probably not growing, probably dormant. Broadleaf sorrel. Now this, I believe, has been grown in France in such areas for a very, very, very long time as a culinary herb. Get that like lemony flavoring. Yeah, fantastic. So sorrel, I've actually grown the seeds from that from other companies. It's a wonderful plant. I actually have the red vein or the bloody dock sorrel. Great. So while all of these may not be the most exotic, out of the way things, to blow you away with just the most random, the rarest things ever, some of these, like the black and standard salsify, never heard of or have even thought about growing them before. So this winter, while you're bored, while it's cold, while you're waiting on spring to come around, get ready to grow for the season, why not take a chance? Buy a random seed collection. Support small businesses on Etsy or Facebook or Marketplace or eBay or who knows where. Grow some random things. That's what makes it more interesting and fun. Break away from the mold of just growing the same old things every year. Try something wild and crazy. Do you need to grow all these different things? Probably not. Actually, most emphatically, you probably don't need to. And quite honestly, I have way too many seeds, and this year I'm just going to start planting everything. And we're just going to see what happens, because my seed collection is just getting out of control. And as we all know, seeds don't keep forever unless you want to go to great lengths of storing them in a dry, cool place in a sealed container and all these things. But who has time for that? Who has time for that when you have so many other things going on? Plant your seeds while they're fresh. Why not? Let's start doing that now. I've said that for a long time. I never really seem to take my own advice. But here we go. More and more seeds just keep coming in. So I need to start growing them so I can get them out. Yeah. So if you've enjoyed this this short little introduction episode to the Medieval Food Forest collection, let me know. Give me a comment down below. A thumbs up if you liked it. And again, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about each of these seeds, or these family of seeds, in a short episode, so they all get their own, time in the sun. The first little clip, of each and every one of these, a little backstory of the medieval. Can I link them back to medieval times? Were they actually grown in medieval times? Are there old recipes? Are there old folklore or stories, or who knows what? We're going to find out together. So episode 1, that's it. The introduction, it's over. You're still watching at this point. I appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed now, it will be a good time, because you watched this far. So you should, at this point, okay. And you're still, of course, you're still watching. I'm not sure. I gotta go. See you.